Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the live stream. Been a few weeks, but we are back and we have got a big topic tonight. It is going to be extremely interesting and it is not good news at all. But we've got a lot of information to pass on, and we're going to see what's going to be happening about this new gun ban in WA. And don't think the other states will try and filter it down over the years to all of us who don't live in WA. And what the hell are our so-called organisations doing about it, or we should say, lack of anything at all from these organizations. So before we start, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, like it and share it and all the other stuff. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well. So we'll bring Jason in here. There he is. Good evening, Jason.
Oh, I wish it was under better terms, eh? I wish it was under better terms.
This is just like the old days, isn't it?
Mate, it feels like 1996. I was only about, how old was I then? 96, about 15, maybe 14, 15, something like that. So, yeah, man, it's pretty sad, isn't it? What a sad state of affairs. Oh, well, again, we said that this stuff was going to happen post-COVID. And when you've pretty much got no opposition in Western Australia, these are the things that happen. And South Australia, oh man, could things really get any worse right now? Could they get any worse? Hopefully this is a thing when people say, I sound a bit annoyed. Well, now you know why, none of this is any good whatsoever. And I think a lot of people get upset is because of the helplessness. Like, what can we do? What power do we have? And sometimes people just feel helpless. So anyway, good discussion tonight and welcome back everybody.
Yes, it's going to be very, very interesting. And so, it's been pretty quiet out there apart from the media talking about this. Unfortunately, as we're going to discuss, no one is out there to help us at all by the sounds of it. And we're going to get into all that information very, very soon. So before we start, I would like to thank tonight's Spank. Yep.
I'm not going to spank anyone tonight.
These at least that'll be more fun than the news we're going to bring.
Exactly, yeah.
Going to thank our sponsors for tonight, Browns Plains Firearms. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Been with us since day one, basically, and been the biggest supporter we've ever had, and probably the best sponsor we ever had. Great bunch of guys. Get down there to Browns Plains Firearms if you're looking for your next firearm, and they will look after you and tell them you saw us on the show, and Gary down there will look after you. And also, I'd like to thank another great supporter of the show is the Hillcrest Indoor Pistol Club. That's where I normally shoot, and I've met a lot of you guys down there. They do supply you genuine reasons. So, like a lot of people after this week, had a guts full of every single organisation, for what I'm seeing, saying they're not going to be re-signing after the lack of action they are taking over this big gun ban. So they are a privately owned company and shooting range, indoor pistol club. They cover your A, B, and your handgun licenses as well. So forget about the organisations, support a small business, and find your local pistol or rifle range that does not belong to a large identity.
Yeah, Andrew brings up a good point here. He says, thankfully, we have the Liberal government. Obviously, he's got a smiley face after that and a laughing face. But
where's Mr. Wonderful? Oh, he's Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, is he here? Yeah, no, I know he'll probably not be unhappy. He won't be happy with that statement from Andrew, I don't think. But yeah, because this is what happens when there's not much opposition in Western Australia. Pretty much we've got no opposition pretty much in WA, and this is very similar. Very similar to what's happening in Canada. But again, this is what I'm saying. The opposition that the Conservatives have in Canada, in Pierre Poilievre, as we've talked about in previous shows, is a stark like I actually thought, and this has been talked about a lot on Twitter right now, about how much a failure Peter Dutton has actually been as opposition leader. A lot
So
of
we're
people are
drinking.
extremely disappointed. I thought he actually would have been good. He'd be more sort of one of the more centre-right people. Like, I wouldn't call him right-wing. I wouldn't call the Liberals right-wing at all. I don't even think we've even got a right-wing party in Australia. Most of them steer to the left in some way, shape or form. Obviously, some a lot worse than others. Obviously, Labor and the Greens being, extreme left from, core values from, say, 20 years ago are a lot different to, today. But yeah, I was thinking about the same thing, and Mr. Wonderful said the same thing. Voldemort Dutton. I mean, look, you just go on Twitter. He's copying an absolute bollocking. He's not even offering anything in regards to, an opposition to Albanese. Like, how bad can things get? Look what's happening in Alice Springs. People are getting broken into, rapes, assaults, men are up by 59%. I mean, all because they took the card off people so they couldn't buy drugs and alcohol. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's absolutely terrible, man. I have to laugh because if you don't, you just get upset with what's happening in this country. But, and like I said last week, Aaron, I think me and you were talking about it. We mentioned the last stream, if the polls are right, which sometimes they're not right. We saw that in the federal election, 4 years ago before Albanese and, Morrison getting back in. Labor looks to be a shoo-in New South Wales. So that only leaves Tasmania for an election in 2025. So if Tasmania loses in 2025, we are really going to be up shit creek. But I mean, that's again because the Liberal Party has failed. This is what I say to it. This is why I hold the Liberals to a higher standard. They're supposed to be quote unquote right wingers, but they're not at all. They're just a soft version, or maybe a bit more of a harder version of the Labor Party. I mean, everybody knows that their policies are pretty much like Labor. And this is why they're up shit creek, because the Conservatives have abandoned them. And the Canadians have put it to the government, and Justin Trudeau's running scared. Hence, he's shelved his massive gun ban in Canada, all thanks to the Conservative Party over there. But we don't have anyone like Pierre over here. I mean, Dutton's not even a wart on Dutton's arsehole. Or Dutton's not even Dutton's not even a wart on Poilievre's arsehole. So I mean, these are the sort of people we're dealing with. We've just got such weak politicians, man. It's so pathetic.
Well, I reckon Dutton just sees himself as like a hardcore Labor person, just a bit more staunch. So it's the same party, basically. Exactly the same party.
Sean says a good point too. All we have is left and hard left. Absolutely. I can't believe anyone thinks there's any difference between these two parties. It's just, you just look at their policies, man. It's just, and unfortunately, the Liberal Party's been neutered massively. It's like they've gone to the vet, and not only have they taken both balls, but they've taken the whole lot. You know what I mean? They haven't just taken So it's sad, man. It really is. But, what do you do? I never voted for him. I wouldn't vote for him since the 96 gun buyback anyway. So, they definitely would never get my vote. So
none of the big parties would ever get my vote.
Well, that too, but that's what I mean. But the thing is, what you get with Labor, what you get with the Greens. But when one tells you one thing, but then does another, and then you watch the press conferences and the election night coverage, and they talk about going further to the left and having women quotas. These are Liberal people, man. I'm thinking you guys are getting wiped off the map, and you still want to go further to the left. But anyway, this is what happens when you go to the further to the left, guys. This is what happens. You go to shit, and your party basically becomes a minor party.
Yeah, a couple of people have mentioned, hang on, here's another one, about us becoming a republic. I don't think that would solve a single thing, to be quite honest with you, because you really think they're going to bring in a proper constitution like the US has? Right to defend yourself, right to bear arms? No, they'll never do that. In fact, it'll probably be even worse, because I'll see it as a blank sheet of paper to be able to bring in all the left-wing garbage into a constitution. So I think it's probably best for us not to become a republic.
It's so crazy, isn't it, Aaron, that, governments just want to continue to dominate. We pay them and they screw us over. Like, it's just like we should be telling them, we tell them what to do, man. We just don't follow, stupid rules and instructions because they say so. I mean, they're elected by, but then again, people, what do you do? If people have elected them, they deserve what they get. Like I always said about Western Australia, a lot of lovely places there, a lot of lovely people. But, at the end of the day, if they didn't have mining, it'd just be a backwards, redneck backwards water somewhere over on the West Coast somewhere that no one would give a shit about. But, If they've got mining, that's their only claim to fame is mining. If they didn't have mining, it'd just be no one would bother. No one would go there half the time. So, if we're being brutally honest.
Yeah, well, if you're in, I know we've got a couple people here from WA in the stream. Get down because we'll get asked quite a bit about your gun laws. How much are your gun licenses each year? The safety certificates. How much is the PTA? And are you going to be affected by these caliber bans? But I'd like to see that in the comments. We'll read them out. Yeah, it's just absolutely staggering what they go through. It's sort of in WA, by the sounds of it, you've got to be pretty well off. They've definitely sort of like segregation, really, to be a gun owner. Like only the well-off people can afford to own guns.
I can't believe this is this bad, man. Well, we said it was going to happen. It fell on deaf ears, unfortunately. If I got banned a couple of days ago from Facebook, so had a chance to just, go away, do a bit of stuff on the weekend, go away, just have a good time away from bloody Facebook and social media. And,
Yeah.
We got
exactly.
Matt Outdoors Adventures says, I know a lot of ex-miners, they were glad to be free of the place. Listen, I always say it's like any place. No place is inherently bad. It's just the idiots that are in it. You know what I mean? It's like picture the worst possible, suburb in your town that's got crime, and it's not bad. Land and resources can't be bad, but the people that in it can be bad. That's unfortunately what brings the area down. The place isn't inherently bad, so.
Well, here we go.
Colin asked why I got banned. I don't even know, man. I think I posted something on my personal account, firing a few people up, and they already banned or deleted the post, so I couldn't even see what it was. So I've just decided from now on, I prefer not to get my, if I get banned, well, then my whole page goes permanently. So I'm just going to have to sort of just not do hardly any posting. If I do post, it's going to have to be very benign and easygoing and not give people any shit.
Yeah, exactly. Here's William. My dad's friend is losing his Browning X-Bolt in WA. What the fuck? A bolt action? Yeah, it's not the actual actions they're going after, it's the caliber sizes. So basically, by looks of it, I've seen the caliber list, and I'm not even going to say what ones they've missed out that are a lot more powerful than what's on that list. But yeah, they've just hobbled together 19 different calibers. And they've missed out a lot. They can go that are a lot stronger than what is on their actual list. So it'll be just the calibers, not the bolt action. So it'll be one of the. Seems like anything over, not everything, but pretty much over 300 rum. Not rum. It will be over 300 rum because rum's more powerful than the Winchester, 300 Winchester. So
yep.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty much over 300 rum they're trying to get rid of, but they have missed quite a few calibers out. I saw in the caliber list. There is a list of firearms, but that was sent to me, but I'm not going to bother reading it out. It's just from an unreliable source. It looks like someone just looked at a website for guns and started rattling off guns. I can't find anything from a reliable or trustworthy site out there that has the actual list of guns that are going to be banned, just the calibers that we'll read out. We've got an article here, or a couple of articles actually, and a video.
Let's read out some participants first. Aaron Johnson, Colin Penfold, Colin and Aaron, I think very long-term listeners. Is it Conan Gaming? Dennis Berry, I haven't seen Dennis before. Sorry if I haven't remembered you or you've been here before. Jeff H, Justin, Matt Outdoor Adventures, Million21, Mr. Wonderful, Neil Constantinow. He's a long-term regular, Neil. Paul, Giannini, sorry, Paul, I hate getting names wrong. I'll just move on. Raymond Bezant, Salty Skippy, Sean White, Stan, Long Range Pensioner, Mance Ticker, Vegas AB, William. Let's see who else we've got, because that's all I've got in there at the moment. Let me just reload this page if we see if we've got anyone else. We've got Steve Savage or Savage? I'd say Savage, but I'll go. Let me know, Steve. I hate getting people's names wrong. Mr. Wonderful, I think I read him out already. A lot of guys just having a chat. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. unfortunately, we wish the news was better. But let's talk about the first thing, Aaron, before we go on. Well, we don't know. We obviously this has been coming for a while, but the main catalyst here was the fact that they found some dude with a bunker at his house. And I'm
hang on.
yeah.
The police on their website I could bring up said that has got nothing to do with it. They reckon because that happened at the same time, and as we'll talk about when they going to ban something, and that it's been on the cards for quite a few months or even up to a year. I'll tell you the story again, how I know this.
And I don't know what, I don't even know. Obviously, if there's illegal guns, fair enough. But I mean, you'd think council, if someone builds a bunker, it's not a police issue. It's a, building application issue for building at your property, when you shouldn't have, or illegally. That'd be a council issue. So again, I don't know why the police are getting involved. Obviously, there's illegal guns. I think there was. I can't remember. There's so much shit going on right now. I don't know what to do.
Oh, shit. Can you hear that?
What?
Oh no. I'm just going to bring a video up to get rid of the ads, and it's actually quite I will bring this up.
And while you're bringing up that too, I said to someone the other day, I know he won't be watching, so I can say it. A good friend of mine, and I put it in this chat. We've got a WhatsApp chat, and I said, "Oh, look at these guns," and I've sent a picture. Like, this is shit. And he goes, "Well, this is the attitude, right?" And a couple of us got fired up at him, and he sort of piped down a bit. But we said, he goes, "Well, I'm not in WA, and I don't own any of those calibers." And I'm thinking, mate, dude, you're in Victoria. You're in the worst. Okay, you're in the worst dictatorship. Well, I don't know. It's a competition between Daniel Andrews and Mark McGowan to biggest wanker and biggest loser going around. So I said, mate, you're going to be lucky if you have your duck hunting next year. So I wouldn't be talking, man. And he's a big duck hunter. So anyway, you just can't help some people, man.
Exactly. I'll bring this up. Tell me if you got the sound as well. Okay, how do we do this?
Don't stuff it up like you did last time. When you did it last time, you end up kicking yourself out. Let's read. While you're doing that, you can do that. I'll read some comments. That's who we got here. The couch bunker, says Salty Skippy. Yeah, mate, I thought the bunker was cool, man. Who doesn't want a bunker? Everybody wants a bunker. Just got to get it council approved. I'm not sure.
Well, this is the thing. They talk about this, but council approval, because I've been in the building industry for 30 years, I was pretty sure that you don't need council approval if anything's being built underneath the existing roof line.
I don't know. I think if you're digging into dirt, I don't know. I don't pretend to know the rules on council approvals for structures or digging into the ground and structural issues. But anyway, what do we got? Ryan says, buying a gun in Western Australia will have to undergo mental health checks, like what police powers that will involve. Real worry.
Sorry.
Here we go. Yeah. No, you had it up then. You had it up.
Yeah. You're still talking.
Yeah. What's this one? Justin said most of the fine we got were only because he didn't have permission to build the bunker, nothing to do with guns. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. He built on his own property. It's no one's business. Yeah, I agree with that too. I believed he only got charged for a silencer or a suppressor and no building permit, I believe. But again, isn't that through like the Land and Environment Court? How is that a police issue? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, so I couldn't tell you. For the suppressor, but he said for the silencer and no building permit. I mean, I don't know. I don't live in WA, so I don't know the laws on, no building permit. But you think that'd be a council issue through possibly Land and Environment Court, wouldn't it? That's at least in New South Wales. But
and it's not really stand-upable about this council approval. You don't really need council approval for a lot of things. It's just a bit of a toss. It's just when you come to sell your property, you just have to disclose. If they ask you, have you got council approval for that? You just have to declare that no, you don't. You have to be honest with them.
What is it? Reagan. I'll say Reagan. The clown won't stop until they ban them all. Yep, we said this. Remember, we said, guys, specifically in a lot of our streams, wait until, COVID's finished and they're gonna start this action on then. Yeah, pretty much we're here right now, which is, I guess not, we did predict it. So
it's quite a good one, actually. We've seen this before. Sean says, good news. Good news story. My work is having a shooting range day paid up by the company for a social event. 10-22 LR, 10 9mm pistol, 10 clays with 12 gauge, 16 out of 25 people are going. only for shooters. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Mr.
And this
Wonderful
week,
makes a good point. He goes, how'd they find the bunker? Well, loose links sink ships. So he
yeah,
probably would have told too many people, and someone he knows has dobbed him in. And yeah, and then Aaron just follows up straight after that. Loose lips. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
He would have told
yeah.
too many people, and some idiots dobbed him in.
Or some filthy rat got in trouble with the cops, and
Yeah.
he's just a snitch. We
You got that
good for
video?
nothing. Yep, we're all good to go. So we will bring this up here.
Oh, he's got a gun safe, guys. Oh no.
Yeah. So tell
Oh,
me if you got
no.
the audio here.
Yeah, go.
Just a couch
Yeah,
at a
all
place in
good.
the suburbs. No, not by a long shot.
Oh, wow.
The police reaction. Seeing the secret entrance revealed to a gun lover's treasure trove. Officers finding a range of weapons at the property, handguns, shotguns, more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition,
Ooh,
plus a
1,000
workbench equipped to modify firearms.
it's rookie
Even an
numbers.
underground shooting range,
Now that's nice.
complete with pulley system to set the target.
A bunker, an underground shooting range, an arsenal of high-powered firearms right in
High-powered.
suburban Perth. It's just incredible.
The stash also
Yeah.
included a
Was he
50
hurting anyone?
caliber rifle with ammo, a weapon designed to penetrate armoured vehicles, even buildings.
We also found a suppressors, which is like a silencer. That's illegal. Body
Oh,
armour.
wow. That's illegal.
Unsecured ammunition,
armour, like a
unlicensed
blanket.
ammunition, illegal.
Across Australia, it's the fear of police that guns like these can and do end up in criminal hands.
My heart sinks every time I see a firearms burglary where more than 10, sometimes 20 and 30 firearms are being taken from a house.
The bunker builder, there in the orange shirt, former professional fighter David Iceman Letizia, pleading guilty to several firearms charges. He was fined just over $3,000 with the weapons destroyed. He's also been charged with building it without council approval.
Oh,
Paul Caddick, 7 News.
well,
Yeah,
there we
well,
go.
that was. I mean, obviously, you don't want to do a little shooting range and all that, but I mean, it was cool. I mean, if in suburban Perth, I'm surprised no one can hear it. I'd say it was probably just a little 22 range or something like that. I would say.
Yeah, underground. Who knows? Yeah, did he hurt anyone? No. Was he disturbing anyone? No. Just leave the guy alone. Basically, he wasn't hurting anyone. Mind his
Aaron
own
makes a
business.
good point. LOL, 1,000 rounds. I mean, if you're a reloader, 1,000 rounds is pretty much nothing, eh? Like it's
I know
especially if you're a
people-
pistol shooter.
Yeah, that's a week or two at for a serious pistol shooter.
Hey, Vegas makes a good point here. He said, wow, looks like satire. I know. When you hear him talking out of that papalia talking, when, suppressor, the band. I
1,000
can't
rounds.
believe it,
1,000
know.
rounds.
It's just shocking, like they don't even look like they're serious, do they? They couldn't. It's all just a game to these people, guys. It's all just a game. They don't really believe this because you can tell by their demeanor, the way they're talking. This is all just look at me. I'm seen to be doing something. Look how good we are. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. It's obvious. You can see it in their demeanor because no idiot that I've ever met talks like that, ever. Nobody.
Yeah, Sean goes, how much would an underground setup like that cost? Like another mortgage to me? I'd estimate around. He did it himself, probably. See, the biggest thing is the actual digging. The rest is pretty easy. So he would have to get all that dirt out of the actual where the entrance is, I'm assuming, because that's the only way to get in there by the looks of it. Yeah. Would labour and everything, yeah. I'd say a good 40 to 50,000, maybe a little bit more. Depends. They didn't really show us the whole setup. Did he have that dug out? A lot cheaper would be if he built that house from scratch and he pre-dug that out and covered it over, and then opened it up when the house was built on top of it. That's another thing. It would have been the easiest way, but who knows? Be good, interesting to find out actually. But to dig it out from and get it out through the house, yeah, that's some major stuff.
Look, it's interesting the body armor thing too. Like apparently that's illegal. Why is body armor illegal? Like, what is that? Some sort of assault weapon? Is it? That's ridiculous.
That does look like a stab-proof vest. It didn't even look like the proper Kevlar stuff. It just looked like a stab-proof vest. If that, it could have been one of those cheap airsoft knockoff things you got. he had some blankets in it or something. Who knows?
William said he actually responded to me. I guess he means the guy that owns the house or the bunker on Facebook. He was licensed for 35 years and passed a safe inspection earlier Feb or March last year, apparently. Well, I wonder how long it take. Well, was that before or after the bunker? I mean, maybe they did see it. Who knows? I mean,
or did he move the guns up to that safe in the living room?
Well, I don't know. Was that safe downstairs or upstairs? Who knows? It looked like it was downstairs.
No, that safe looked like it was next to the lounge suite.
Yeah, we might have had lounges down in the bunker too.
No, then it opened up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, maybe it was. Yeah, I'd have to watch it properly again. But yeah, then they said, "Oh, there's a place there for modifying firearms." Like, what does that even mean? What, putting a scope on? Looked like more cleaning gear and cleaning rods and so forth, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
To modify guns. It's just, well, that's what all that gear is. What normal gun owners have for safety, like as in being able to clean their guns, because you got to clean your guns to keep them safe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Hebrew
Anything for a clickbait tagline.
Hebrew says there are a few high-end rifles and shotguns in that collection. Shame they got destroyed. As for 1,000 rounds, we shoot that in a week in prepping for a competition. Exactly. Yep. You know. And then Raymond said, I wonder if 50 cal could penetrate. Oh, no, let's not read that. That's not a good one. Sorry, mate. You shouldn't. Let's not say things like that. I've only got burger rings under my couch. Jealous as hell, says Mr. Wonderful. That's a good one. Yeah, Media Wankers says ticker makes it sound as scary as possible. Yeah, I mean, but you can just tell the way they're talking, their demeanor. You know, when you're out with your friends, they don't talk like this. This is all just, it's all just a face. They got two faces. These people. Oh, we're helping, and unfortunately, the average Australian is just way too dumb to realise they're being fooled. Like I've got no faith in the Australian people. Most of them are dumb, just dumb from the convict days. They haven't, unfortunately. You think a couple of 100 years we would have evolved to be a bit more critical thinkers, but not really. The average noddy still thinks, somehow John Howard saved us. So what do you do?
Exactly. Mr. Wonderful's got a great thing. What burglar would have ever found the bunker anyway? That's a terrible argument from the cops. Exactly. Hiding in plain sight is always the best form. Nothing screams, I have guns, like a gun safe. So, if they're down in a bunker, you would never have thought or found that at all. It's like this concealment you buy in the US, is concealed furniture. Press of a button and it opens up, looks like a bookcase. It opens up and it's got guns and that stored in it. No burglar is going to lift a massive bookcase out. And how would they ever know, if you don't tell anyone, that your guns are stored in there? Way safer than a actual gun safe.
Yeah. So this one's good. Let's read this one anyway. So this new firearms crackdown. Let me see if I can.
Are we talking about I got it all queued up here, the articles.
Yeah. Is that the police.wa.gov one?
I can bring that one up. I've got two
new firearms crackdown to bolster safety. Bring that one up and I'll read that one.
Okay, and we'll go into the next one that has all the nitty-gritty. There we go.
Yeah, so I'll read that one so you can just do it. So this is the main part, right? So the third paragraph. Premier, our government is committed to ensuring the community and our police officers have the best possible protection from gun violence. Well, how can you have the best possible protection from gun violence? Because none of these guns that they're threatening to ban have been used in any type of crime, and they're taking them off the law-abiding that don't do anything wrong. So how on earth is this ban going to give the best possible protection when you're only taking them off law-abiding people who went through the process to make sure they did the right thing? But again, the government already knows this, right? They just think we're stupid, right? The West Australian Police Force has informed me there's no practical need, according to them. So again, we've got people that don't know anything about firearms telling us what we do and don't need. Under the ban, 56 types of firearms and 19 calibers of ammunition will become illegal. That's a lot, man. That means a total of 248 licensed firearms, which are currently legal in WA, must be disposed of by the July deadline. McGowan government will fund the buyback of the specified firearms at market value. The funds will be paid to a nominated bank within 8 weeks of the firearms official surrender. Blah, blah, blah. Acting Commissioner Kylie Whiteley said she supported the Premier's comments, adding some of the projectiles in his firearms are capable of penetrating the body armor worn by police officers. But again, how many people have been shot? How many police have been shot by these types of firearms when police officers either A, have been or have not been wearing body armor? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
You've never heard of anyone being shot with a 50 cal in Australia. And that would be all over the news. That would basically be the end of shooting if someone was. Especially a cop.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't
Apparently
make
they're
any
more
sort of
important
sense.
than the civilians, as we
They
found
can
out.
penetrate armored vehicles, blah, blah, blah. I mean, these have been available, for ages, and it's just not happened. So I don't know. It's just we've got a lot of people in Parliament. There's no real Liberal Party to give us any grief. So we're just going to use our power to just start further bans and just completely ruin the state. These people need to be stopped, man. This is the thing. We just can't let them get away with things like this. So we need to do something, whether it's a legal fight, I don't know. I don't really have any answers in regards to that. People have been asking us, well, what do we do? What can we possibly do? I mean, again, I'm seeing on these organizations' Facebook pages saying, write to them. Like you're writing to the same people that want to ban these guns. And I won't mention who, but I did see one on, they've sort of semi-admitted it, that they were proponents of writing letters, which is fair enough. They're entitled to tell their members to write letters, but you're writing to the same people that have already made the ban, that want the ban. So writing to them is not going to do a single thing. Maybe if they had some opposition in WA and the Liberal Party weren't so useless, well, then we might actually be able to, put some pressure on the Labor government to try and stop it. But, I'm not really hearing anything, mate, on any sort of legal action, any sort of, basically, it's going to happen, guys. There's nothing you can do because we don't have the power. Me and Aaron don't have the money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars to commit some sort of legal action. As Aaron has said before on many shows, as we know, these organizations won't work together. I made a post about it the other day. A lot of these things are all about just interested in making money. It's not really about shooting sports. It's about just making as much money as you possibly can. A lot of these organizations won't work together.
No, well, you got people out there who's all over the internet abusing other organizations and carrying on. Then you see them crying that they don't get a seat at the table. Well, people aren't going to invite you to these firearms meetings when you're calling them fuckwits and abusing them all over the internet. And then you go cry that you're not even getting a look in. Of course you're not. This looks amateurish for your setup. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. And no, the whole thing with all these organizations just seem to be a big pissing contest. They're never going to work together because everyone wants to be a top dog. Everyone wants to think they have the biggest stick and they know best. They just can't get on. All that should be put aside. You should all work together and pull your money together and do a proper legal action like that shooting industry association over in South Africa. Bang. This comes up. This would have been gone through court and dissolved by now instantly over in South Africa.
I mean, I think GOSA, as a gunner in South Africa, I was looking it up the other day. They spent over 1.3 million rand, which is, I don't know, I think it's about $1 million of they're looking for donations, but they actually list what they've done on their website and all the wins they've had. So, which is quite good. I mean, listen, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what legal action they can take. Again, I don't get that. That's why people much smarter than us are out there that can try and figure out what we can do or what avenue in that respect do we need to take to start putting pressure on the government. But also, too, that's on the flip side, too. We saw this a couple of years ago, when Clive Palmer was pretty much trying to bankrupt the state of WA because there were some things going on. And that's how much of a dirtbag Mark McGowan is, that he changed the law in the middle of the night so he didn't have to pay Clive Palmer, right? I'm not saying Clive Palmer's a good bloke by any stretch, but that's how much of a grub Mark McGowan is. The guy's an absolute tyrant. I mean, at this point, I've got to say he's very close to being worse, if not worse than Daniel Andrews, to be brutally honest. You know?
After this, I think he's worse than Daniel Andrews.
Yeah, the guy just doesn't care. The guy just has no care about anything. Just ban, do as I say. Just full tyrant, man. Like, I can't believe Labor voters actually like this guy. It's just scary, man. But you know what? If they're regretting it now, well, you deserve the government that you get. You don't vote tyrants into to your state. It's just common sense.
Yeah, and after, when this is all done and dusted, guys, for me, any of these organisations that you belong to haven't put up legal action or attempted to work with other people in the industry, and I think the gun importers, it's in their best interest to try and stand up to this as well. It's their products being banned. So we've heard nothing from the gun importers, which is just as bad. So if you're giving money, if I was giving money to some of these organisations and they do absolutely nothing apart from tell you to write a pointless letter that will just end up in the bin and ignored, I wouldn't be belonging to their site. I wouldn't give them I wouldn't give them my money at all, not in the slightest. If they don't do something about this, they're out there saying. I've even seen people out there saying from groups, "Oh, it's pointless even doing legal action." But Jesus,
And someone did mention that. Someone did mention to me the other day saying, well, you know, I don't know the legal process, but, you know, that, well, if we bring action against the government, we could incur liability of costs. I said, well, okay, so then what do you do? So the answer is nothing. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, okay, it's going to be expensive. Everybody knows that. So what do you do? No wonder why they're treating us like this, guys, because we just have no fight in us. Mark McGowan would look back and say, well, there was bans in 96. They did nothing about it. They tried to ban these other guns. They really didn't do anything about it. These people just are easy targets. So why wouldn't you attack shooters when they're such easy targets? Yeah. And someone, and Mr. Wonderful was commenting. I haven't seen the other comment, but he was talking to another guy, I think it was Paul, saying they won't ban them. They'll just triple the cost of V8 sports car registration. So again, I'm seeing on some of these organizations who some have a bit of a larger stature saying, well, you know, are you going to ban cars and all this sort of thing? I said, mate, in a time of need, in a time of getting everyone together and trying to get organizations together, we're literally posting things on the internet about sports cars. I mean, if that's the best we've got for an organization to post something about a car being banned and they look forward to, I mean, obviously they're making a point, right? They're making a point, well, these cars should be banned as well. Then why are you attacking shooters? But if that's the best we've got, to put a meme on the internet about banning sports cars, we are well and truly fucked. Well and truly.
How about instead of making your stupid memes, go and organise working together with other organisations and industry leaders and gun importers and rally all your money together and say, hey, we're not making memes. We're here fighting. We're about to start some legal action.
I mean, when I read it, I saw this. I was like, really? If they're having a dig at the government saying ban sports cars, trying to make a point, I'm like, if that's all we've got, we are in some serious trouble, man. Like, really. Let me just go through some of these, Aaron. This is like an unofficial list, but we're just going to do some. Obviously, you know the calibers, guys. One I'm quite shocked at, but we'll go through them.
I've got the actual proper list here of all the calibers.
I've got this stupid fly.
I'll bring this list up, Jason, because that other list, God knows where that even came from. Thinking about you guys coming to the US and leave the country of fund spenders behind. It would be nice, but unfortunately, I don't think we can afford to get in there. We're not from Ukraine, so you're not going to let us in. Or from Mexico. But thank you very much for your donation.
We can pretend we're from Mexico if you want, if you'll let us in. I mean,
you know, we go to Mexico and just walk over the border and get picked up.
But see, hey, let me say one thing. That's the thing that is so frustrating. Like, literally, I tell people, I go, how much do you love guns? And they go, oh, mate, it's my whole life. And I go, well, then you're better off just moving, because I don't see any end to these constant bans. I really don't. Unless we start, again, I've said it on 100 podcasts, 100 of these shows. How in 2023 do we not have employed legal counsel with some of our organizations that can afford it? In 2023, 1.2 million shooters, and we have no employed legal counsel. I mean, really, it begs my belief, man, that this is possible in 2023. We don't have on retainer lawyers that every time there's a ban, whether it's an administrative issue, whether it's at an importing level through the federal government, like when we had the Adler bans and so forth, We just don't have it. We just don't have it. It's beggars belief to me, man. How such a huge sport has literally no representation employed.
I can understand the organisations because they've all been pretty non-active and all this over the years. But the gun importers, this is your livelihood. This is your products you are importing, and the government are banning your products. It's like banning a car. If you're a car importer, they're going to ban your car. You wouldn't take it lying down, would you? I don't understand why these gun importers aren't getting up and saying, "Hey, hang on, no, this is our products. We need this is our livelihood. You can't just cut us off. There's got to be something they can do about
And
that."
Aaron's had that one. Tell him about that story where they had a gun ban. You were going to help him out, and you were going to refer him to someone else. Remember, I'm not going to say the name because we don't want to get sued or anything. But then they said, like you said, you can help him. You were going to refer him on to someone, and then that importer said, no, just let them ban it because they might target other guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to refer him to someone else, and that may have helped them. And they said, no, we're not interested in talking to them. They knew exactly who they were. Said, no, we're not interested in talking to them. And we'll just don't want to rustle the feathers because they might get rid of the rest of our guns. At least we can have something. And that was their whole attitude.
Like I said, guys, it's all about the money. I said this before. Follow the money, you'll see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Don't worry about the gun being banned. Just, we need to make money on our other guns, so we just don't want to ruffle any feathers, so we'll just let the gun be banned. Fuck, if that's the level of these importers' advocacy, fuck me, man. It's so bad. It's much worse than you think it is. It's much worse than you think it is.
You look at a company like Naya. Why don't they do something? They got massive. They're probably one of the richest gun importers in the world, I reckon. The amount of just brought Barrett, and he's a smart man, Robert Naya, very smart man. He's probably in the same boat. He's got government contracts and doesn't want to lose them, I guess, which is a real shame. But I don't know if he can do something behind the scenes or whatever. But here's the list of. But
again, like I said, when you start getting into that avenues again, why would you? Like it doesn't. I mean, anyway, everybody can put two and two together, guys. Everyone can put two and two together.
Exactly. So here is the calibers. This is what have been released. The only sort of reliable sort of list that we've got out there so far. So 340 Weatherby Magnum, 28 Nosler, which I can't believe. That's just a sort of a comparison to like a Remington 7mm, 33 Dakota, 338 Lapua, 300 Lapua Magnum, which surprised me because that's the only sort of 30 caliber.
Hey, I'm shocked with 28 Nosler. That's like a
me too.
Neck 7mm. I mean 7mm cartridge. So I mean, fuck, unbelievable.
Remington 7mm. Yeah. 338 404 Jeffrey. Well, I actually shot one of those not long ago. I think I got a video on it. 338 Norma Magnum. 338 378 Weatherby Magnum. 338 Edge. Now that's a very interesting round. It was actually designed for, I think, from a SWAT team member over in the US for private use. He had invented, spent years inventing this round. It's one of the best rounds out there, actually. 338 Weatherby Magnum, 300 Norma Magnum, 375 A Square, 375 Gibbs, 460 Steyr, 375 Shaytac, 416 Barrett, 408 Shaytac, 50 BMG, 55 Boys. You think they could have come with a better name than 55 Boys, wouldn't you?
What about 375 A Square? I've never even heard of that, to be honest.
No, neither have I, actually, yeah. But there's quite a few on that list, not on that list, which is good, that are more powerful than the 28 Nosler, and they hadn't...
Hey, and don't forget, anybody thinking your 300 Win Mags, your 300 Remington Ultra Mags, your 308s, your 300 WSMs are safe. Just put two and two together, guys. Eventually, it'll creep down. Well, these are a bit too powerful. We'll knock 300 Win Mag and 300 WSM on their head.
Well, they got 300 Norma, and they got 300 Lapua Magnum. To me, they're all pretty much in the same sort of class as 300 Winchester or 300 rum. But this is the thing. We got this article we can go through.
And listen, we're going to avoid saying, and listen, someone mentioned it in the comments. Will said, he's mentioning a few names here. He goes, blah, blah, blah. Why aren't we listing the people or naming them? There's two reasons for that, guys. One, we don't want to be sued. Refrain from mentioning any one specific person, any one specific organization, because we're just two dudes on the internet, and I don't want to get into a legal battle. So most of you can put two and two together. You're not stupid, but we are just covering our legal boundaries here, and we're just going to keep things to be generic because, some of these, people, organizations can be, like to litigate. So we're just going to keep it generic, and you guys are pretty smart. You can put two and two together.
Exactly. Here's an article, like an independent article, not the one from the police propaganda. Western Australia Premier Mark McGowan announced to ban high-powered firearms. We know that. The ban will be effective on 1st of July this year, by which that time owners of 284 current licensed firearms will have to surrender them to their interstate or sell them interstate. Well, see, that's it. This is only affecting 284 guns, for God's sake. It's absolutely pathetic. The ban will outlaw 56 types of firearms as well as 19 calibers. The list below, which we just read. The ban will specifically be requested by the WA Police Force. Surprise, surprise. Commissioner Kylie Whiteley, who implied police feared being targeted by large caliber long range weapons.
Yeah, when has this ever happened? When?
Yeah, exactly. Some projectiles from these firearms are capable of penetrating body armor worn by police officers. Well, you know what else can be penetrated by body armor? Bloody 223. You get the right rounds for that. That can penetrate some body armor.
Let me say one thing too. Someone was asking other questions about, we're also trying to refrain from talking about certain calibers too, because, we don't want to give these people any ideas again. So we're also refraining from mentioning other calibers, or we don't want to just make any things here because, we don't want to wake up tomorrow and they've added 5 calibers to the list because we were talking about it. So we're also just, we're trying to just be generic in that respect too, and only read out what they are banning. Yeah, we're telling them they're going to go down the list into other calibers, but, that's down the track. But we don't want to give them any ideas now for this ban. We just don't want to do that.
Exactly. It said, however, Police Minister Paul Papala pointed to the seizure of very high-powered firearms being incorrectly stored in a secret underground bunker this week in Perth. He added the most powerful of the weapons were licensed, as the owner reports has hinted. The reports so far hinted that only allegedly illegal item was a suppressor. So it's all those guns were legal apart from the suppressor. It did say that it had. She gave no examples of this having ever happened anywhere in Australia, nor did she mention any specific threats. So nothing's ever happened. Just made this crap up, and the dumb of the dumb out there of the typical population will just lap all this up. You're going to say something, back it up.
And I've said it before. Again, if you're getting, I'm not saying, again, I've got to keep this generic as I possibly absolutely can. But, I mean, I'll just say anyone, right? Anyone or any business taking money from the government, will never fight the government, because why would you? Because you may not get, funding down the track. So, it's sad state of affairs, unfortunately, just like the NRA in America. They don't take any funding from the government. They're often fighting the government. So why? Anyway, I've got to refrain from what I'm saying, guys, because I don't want to get, any letters in the mail saying I've been a bad boy. So, but if we keep it generic, they can't say shit to us. I won't be receiving any letters. But again, anyone that takes money from the government, I don't think will do anything for our gun rights, because why would they? They'll be scared they won't get any more money. So it's pretty obvious, guys. And who says this? Was it William? No,
Yeah.
not William.
Salty Skipper, I bet those 270 odd guns are owned by less than 100 people. Exactly. And all those calibers they rattled off, or most of those, are extremely high-end, expensive calibers. So your average Joe is not going to be able to get, won't be able to afford to shoot a lot of that stuff anyway. So, yeah, it'll be a fraction of the amount of shooters, and probably less than 1% of shooters in WA that this is going to affect, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And some people are saying, yeah, if you like, it's getting to the point where, you know, that if we you know, they can't get the guns, like the only option is to go somewhere else or to another country. Yeah, but it's sad. But you know, if that's what you feel like you need to do, I wouldn't blame anyone.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Badger does have a very good point. I wouldn't want to move to America now, not with the country as being run under that Biden clown, exactly. And they're in for some really hard times with this recession they're in, or we're about to follow that as well. So, yeah, if Trump's not in, I wouldn't want to live there.
Skull and crossbows, firearms position in Australia will only become more difficult. I guess, you know, it means going down the track until Australia is invaded. Well, we never know what's going to happen. Hey, China's getting a bit funny, aren't they? So they're getting a little bit excited. So, you know, yeah, you watch them change their mind if we can't. Like, we think we're so cool, eh? Oh, we're banning the guns. We're so cool, man. You just wait until the Chinese turn up on the shores, mate, and then watch them change their mind. And then by that time, it's too late because everyone's going to be helpless, you know?
And they say, that Australia will never be attacked. Well, I'm pretty sure they said that during World War II. Yet Australia was on the receiving end of the largest bombing campaign in World War II up in Darwin. They annihilated the place, the Japanese planes. And I'm sure they thought exactly the same thing. Oh, we'll never get attacked. Don't rule that out. We're a defenseless, weak-ass country run by weak people.
Yeah, and
99% of extremely weak, harebrained, pussy men.
You wait until they'll be calling up the US on the first day. Can you please come and help us, mate? You're going to sure of that. Ryan said more people die in fishing and boating accidents than legal gun owners. Let's ban surfing than in boating. If I can't continue my sport, then what's the point in paying taxes and contributing? Enough is enough. Well, yeah, exactly. Because that's what happens when you give up your freedom. They just continue to push and see how far they can get, just like they did the last couple of years. Push, see how far they can get. And then why wouldn't you be realizing after what happened the last 2 years with, you know what, we can't say on the channel, if no one stood up then, well, no wonder they think they can get away with it, because we're just a weak nation. I hate to say it, but it's like we haven't grown up since our bloody convict days. Really, eh?
Exactly. Troop's got a very good point. McLeod said there is no animals big enough in WA to warrant these big guns. He's never seen how big a frigging camel is. Yeah, and they have buffaloes out there as well, don't they? Or whatever they have. Yeah. No, exactly. I know a guy who shot a camel 3 headshots with a 308 and it was still standing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Mr. Wonderful said, I'm not going to mention because we don't, again, we're going to avoid that. Certain organizations have enough money to be able to do it, but won't spend it. Exactly. Because again, don't forget, it's not as if I go say it's the best way. It's not as if we don't have the resources. It's just people aren't wanting to spend those resources, if that makes sense. Not wanting to spend the resources. That's the problem, because why would you? Because, again, they're controlled opposition in the pockets of this government and the police, man. That's what you got to understand. People think our organizations, are really out to help you. No, they're out to make money and to rub shoulders with the elites, guys. That's all. And they're controlled by the government. Like I said at the start of it, guys, we needed a strong organization after 1996 to be really in your face and strong on these issues. And what we got was weak and limp-wristed. And no wonder we're in the position we are now, guys. You know, I could name specifics, but again, I just don't want to avoid. I want to avoid certain things, and you know, again, don't want to get the naughty letter in the mail saying I need to apologise publicly for being naughty.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's definitely. Yep. And once again, guys, this is why I don't bother giving my money to any form of organisations. I just belong to a privately owned pistol club. Who are absolute gun lovers and want to do the right thing by their members. No hassles, no problems at that club at all. And it covers me for my rifles. You don't need to belong to an organisation. And you can shoot pistols down there, 22s and shotguns. So what more could you ask for? You can go to another range. You can go to other ranges. We've got ranges all over Brisbane. You can actually go to, pay a little bit extra and still use their ranges, but not have to give them hundreds of dollars a year.
Yeah, Matt Outdoors Adventures. I needed to clarify that, but he goes, remember what you get episode of Clarkson's Farm. I guess that's at Jeremy Clarkson. He goes, they won't even allow to hunt badgers that were killing the cows. But I don't know who. I didn't watch it. Who wasn't allowed? Is it Clarkson's
government? Government have badgers spread TB to all the cows, and if your farm,
but whose farm is it? Is it his farm?
It's his farm, yeah.
Okay, right. I didn't watch it.
So you have the TB is carried by the badgers. They get it to your cows. You got to destroy all your cows, and it's costing the government $150 million a year just in testing dead badgers. And he wasn't. They knew that the badgers. And he found. They found them on his property, the hives, and they won't let him shoot them, even though they're going to give him TB.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things you get it with like the same thing. The badger crew, don't shoot the badgers, or heaven forbid, stay out of the water. The sharks own the water. I don't give a shit about sharks. I couldn't care less. Knock a few sharks on the head. Reduce the amount of sharks swimming around. I think it's a good thing. Just like in Queensland, they were whinging the other day. I think it was in Queensland. Was it Cairns maybe? Townsville.
Crocs.
Yeah, the Crocs. They ended up shooting one. And everyone was up in arms. I go, mate, you need to shoot thousands of them. Shoot more. Shoot
like
2,000 of them. Yeah, shoot them.
An absolute plague.
Thin them out.
Yeah,
I don't know what the issue is.
You have gator season. Don't know why they don't have it here.
I don't know what the issue is. Like they're worried about a couple of, don't go in the water. Well, hang on a minute. Why do they own the water? Like there's other fish, there's other species, there's thousands of fish species, there's thousands of sea life. But what? They rule the show. I mean, yeah, they got big teeth, so I guess why they are the biggest predator in the sea. I'd love to go spearfishing, but I don't want to get involved with sharks. That's half my problem. But same thing. Knock a few on the head, cull a few. I don't care. Like, what's the big issue? Not as if we're killing every single one that exists. I mean, it's ridiculous. You need to thin them out a little bit. I think that's fair.
Knock a few on the head, string them up, and send a message to other crocs.
Yeah. And the crocs are starting to move around. You've seen they're coming a lot more south. They don't mind going in the ocean. They don't care. They'll swim out to islands, no problem. Mate, it's getting to the point where you can't even go anywhere. It's like this is what people are scared of when they come to the country. Can they come to the country without getting killed by something? Or because the Greens, mate, and don't want to knock a few on the head, just like the Canberra with all the kangaroos. You have to start culling them because they end up just causing accidents on the road and stuff like that. So what's the big deal?
Yeah, and stripping the land. That's something we were going to talk about as well, about the buyback. They got $1.5 million they put aside for the buyback and all the propaganda marketing. Fair market value. This is from Rod Fitzpatrick, which will be determined by whatever officer on the day you bring it in. Yeah, exactly. They're not even telling you how much you're going to get for these guns. Now, if you've modified it, Cerakoted it, put aftermarket triggers in it, are you going to get paid for all that? Probably not. I wouldn't surprise you if they just see it as a gun. Here's your $200, go away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who's going to make the decision? I've even seen, again, not going to mention any names, there's already organizations out there that are already talking about their goal is to get fair value for these guns. So that means you automatically know already. It's not even funny. You automatically know they're not going to do anything because they're already talking about getting fair value for the guns. Oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, if this wasn't so embarrassing, if we weren't so piss weak, man, well, look, we need to look in the mirror and say, what have we become? Really, this is the worst it's ever been, and these people are gonna do nothing, man. It's so fucking pathetic. It's just, it makes you. I get it. People are emailing me. What do we do? They're upset. They're angry, disappointed. Well, mate, again, ring up your organization. What the hell? Who are you getting involved with to get together with? Are you putting your egos aside to get involved with other organizations to make something happen? I mean, I can't believe I'm seeing things on the internet about, well, we'll need fair value for these gun owners. Like, you know, we're helping them out. No, they want to keep their firearms, for God's sake. They don't
want the money. They want the guns.
Obviously, the next best thing is, well, make sure you get value. But again, we shouldn't even be talking about that until way down the track, until we have a fight with these people. And what I mean by that, just so we don't get in trouble, you know, obviously some sort of legal fight down the track, you know, but they're already talking about it now, getting fair value. So you automatically know they're not going to do anything. I mean, fuck's sake, Jesus, man, how bad has this thing gotten? Wow.
Yeah. The inaction and the people and the industry people saying, just write letters. Fuck's sake, you got a fucking rocks in your head if you think they're going to take notice of your letter. Just like I said it before, I did a job for a guy who was a lawyer for the Queensland government, retired, and we talked about bans and everything, and he said by the time his whole job was to write up the law, we want to ban these guns. Like an example like this, they would have gotten a memo. We want to ban these calibers. Make it so. Write the law up. Find loopholes where people can't exploit it. That was his job. And he said, by the time you hear about it, it's been in the process for months, a year. They're not going to back down because you write a letter. It's going to happen no matter what.
I mean, I
They
did
don't
see
care about your letters.
I did see one the other day that sort of, you know, was a big proponent of letter writing, putting on the internet, was saying, well, yeah, there's no real point, you know, writing to the Labor politicians because, you know, obviously they're the ones trying to ban it. So what's really the point? Yeah, we can make a song and dance. Sure, you can call up your listen, if you want to do it, go right ahead. I mean, I was telling Aaron the other day, someone was busting my nut on the Facebook page saying, well, you know, what have you done? You know, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 because they were a big proponent of letter writing. Guy looked like a nice fella, but he only looked fairly young. And I was like, dude, I've been writing letters for 12 years. I've written more letters than you've had hot dinners, sir, basically. You know, I've written over 1,300 letters in 12 years. I mean, picture that on an average of how many I was sending out per week. Some weeks there were 30 to 40. Some weeks it was 10. But I've got them on that list. I've still got those letters, man, from 2010 to 2012. Listed to every politician I wrote to. I just think these days, man, I just wasted my time. I mean, at the time I thought, yeah, gung-ho, you know, yeah, I'm writing letters, mate. We're really making a difference. We're really sticking at this government. Well, guess what happened with those 1,300 letters? One, no one else was really writing many letters. And if they were, it certainly didn't help because the laws are much worse now than they were, you know, 10 years ago. And look what's happening now, gun bans. And we'll probably finish off soon when we talk about this South Australian bow hunting ban. Another thing, you won't be able to bow hunt in South Australia. They've already tried that on and were semi-successful in Tasmania with that bow hunting ban. You know, so what's next? New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Northern Territory, WA. I mean, he loves bans. He'll be looking straight away to you know, stop bloody, you know, I'm not even sure if you can. I'm pretty sure you can hunt with a bow in WA, but whatever, you know, nothing's off the table for Mark McGowan, put it that way. Nothing's off the table.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll wrap up in a minute. Stephen said, shooters in Australia have allowed this to happen. Our fault.
Yep.
No one else. Empathy in Australia has always been the problem. She'll be right. Exactly, mate.
Yeah, but also too, I agree with what Stephen's saying. But again, when you don't have an entity, I'll say, you know, trying to rally the troops and getting stuck in and making it difficult for the police and the government that just roll over at every opportunity. Well, no wonder we've become apathetic, man. No wonder we have, because we've had a real strong advocacy group that said, yeah, no, we're not going to allow this, man. We're going to get real tough. We're going to get, you know, we're going to get, you know, political. We're going to get, you know, I mean, there's still people out there talking about the whole politics thing. we need to get more people in Parliament. Guys, listen, I agree. If we had 60 to 70 gun owners in Parliament to make a difference, sure, that'd be fantastic and probably would work to a certain degree, right? But it's been almost, coming up on close to, 30 years since Port Arthur. We lost all our representation in WA from Rick Mazza and Aaron Stonehouse. We didn't get any more people. We've lost 3 lower house members in New South Wales. We lost one a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago in Victoria. We lost Tim Quilty from the Liberal Democrats. We're not winning anything on a political level. We're actually losing pro-gun representation. We're not increasing it. And how long do we have to wait? It depends if you've got an upper house for, a balance of power. We had it in 2014 in New South Wales, and we absolutely squandered it. And we signed off on all these sales for the government, and we got nothing. Barry O'Farrell screwed us over. So, they call us political amateurs, but I wouldn't have certainly signed off on any government asset sale until my staff had already passed through Parliament. And if he doesn't do that, well, what have I lost? I've lost nothing. If he doesn't do it, I've lost, so again, fuck, just unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
It is. Yeah. Unfortunately, if the people in power in the shooting community with the money aren't going to work together, aren't going to band together, extend the olive leaf and try and work in instead of everyone fighting each other. The importers, who this is going to affect as well, if they aren't going to stand up and help the shooters, man, it's just insane. It's not going to. We're not going to. These guns are gone. Good is gone.
And I keep saying, don't forget. We've been saying it for a while now. Unless they do something drastic in Victoria, eventually, if you think they're not going to come after duck hunting in Victoria, guys, I mean, you got another thing coming. If you're complacent about this Victorian duck hunting ban and you think it's not going to happen, it's all just, we all thought this stuff in WA was all just hearsay. It's never going to happen. Well, that's something that would be very similar to being next. Victoria goes, South Australia will then go too, I think, as well in regard. They're banning bow hunting. Why wouldn't they ban duck hunting if Victoria bans it? And that'll be in the space of 5 years, 4 or 5 massive bans, not only on hunting, but the guns you can own. It'll just be an absolute nightmare. And I just can't believe there's some of these organizations starting to crow about these mental health checks. I think that'll eventually, listen, don't quote me, I think that'll probably be knocked on the head and won't be put through. But I could be wrong. Listen, I think it's going to take a good fight to get that. But it's interesting to see some of these entities, I'll use the word entity, more interested in fighting this mental health check, which is great. But then actually fighting 56 specific types of guns and 19 different calibers. They're not really interested in that because, you know what, if you have the mental health check and your license gets knocked on the head, well, then you can't be a member of a club. So again, follow the money. It comes back to how much money they're going to make. You know what I mean? Pretty much, that's all it comes down to. Well, we'll fight that one because we don't want to lose a shit ton of members, because if they start getting knocked on the head with these mental health checks, and they lose their licenses, well, then that's less memberships. So it's crazy they're fighting that harder than all these bands. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm just flabbergasted, man. But ring up, if you are going to do one thing, ring up your organizations, especially if you're involved with ones that are of larger stature, or some of, there's quite a lot of larger ones building up at the moment. Any of them, really. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just say, hey, what's going on, man? Just ask to speak to them. What are you doing? Send them emails, then make a call. What are you doing? Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we might wrap it up, Jason. It's getting on a bit. So
well, hang on. We'll just go. We'll spend just probably 2 or 3 minutes. Just again, this is the same thing that goes for the bow hunting ban, guys. I mean, again, if they're not going to get serious and try and push the government hard to make it. If they do ban it, well, they're going to ban it, right? But why aren't we at least making it hard for them to try and ban it? Why aren't we taking a stand? So now we're going to have 2 massive things that are going to happen within the next 6 months, and and our representatives are going to do nothing about it other than bullshitting on Facebook, telling you to write a couple of letters or posting pictures of motor vehicles saying, well, I look forward to them banning sports cars. I mean, is that the level of representation we deserve? I mean, I get the point, but it's just not cutting the mustard, is it, guys? I mean, this is bad. And again, don't think this is not coming to a state near you. We've got bow hunting bans. We've got hunting bans probably coming. It doesn't look good, man. And what are we doing? And what's our representation doing? Nothing. Oh, we're gonna talk to them behind closed doors. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah. Be transparent and fucking tell us. But if they don't do anything, man, they're not worth a pinch of salt. It's just work.
And this is the time to really think about, who you're a member of. I'll just leave it at that. You guys know what I mean. If they're not going to do anything, cut it up, join another club, or see the membership out. Doesn't matter anyway. And then join someone else. But again, if no one's doing anything, well, who do you join? Just join one of your local independent rangers who have nothing to do with politics. That way, they're just there to run a club or a range. They're not interested in anything legal. Probably better than wasting your money on other ones.
I reckon it's a better way to go. It's supporting a small business, and they're not going to make promises they can't back up.
I don't know. Sorry if this is doom and gloom, guys, but hopefully this gets people motivated to at least get the shits and say, hey, listen, we've had enough of this, and we start demanding some action from representatives. No one in this stream, me and Aaron, don't have the money to do that. Hey, if I won the lottery, I probably would. I'd have some money aside that we had for that. It was in an account, and we just used the interest off that money. Maybe we put in we had enough money. We could put it in an interest-bearing account, and each year we use that money. We don't spend the money. Any interest we get off that account, we use for these type of legal cases and legal action. So if we make it, if we have enough, surely there's got to be a big fat Clive Palmer, not Clive Palmer, but someone like Clive Palmer that loves guns, that's got a shit ton of money, a CEO of a company. We can just set up a shell account basically. So nothing illegal, of course. And then he funnels money into it, and we use that money. If there's an administration ban, we're straight into the tribunals, we're straight into the courts every time. Win, lose, or draw. Yeah, if we're going to pay costs, we'll factor that into the payments. Surely someone can just give us $10 million, and then we just we just use interest payments off that. You can get 5% at the moment. That'll be how much per year? 500 grand. That's not bad for a bunch of legal cases. 500 grand. We just don't spend it. Anyway.
And you'll be able to get lawyers for that. They're not all greedy bastards. Some of them do want to fight the good fight and not there to make buckets and buckets of money.
I mean, I get it. I've been frustrated all week, guys. I get it. People are upset, don't know what to do. I don't blame you. I really don't. It's hard to bring you nice, positive news when there's just not any. And then people ask you, well, you're not podcasting. Why aren't you doing this? You seem burnt out. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be when this is the shit going on all the time and we just don't do a single thing about it? Of course you're going to be burnt out. Just common sense,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, read out some comments before we finish off. Let's read some comments because you guys have been good enough to...
Neil, when they ban hunting, government will have to start poisoning animals. Exactly. Way worse for the environment and the waterways.
Yeah. And Mr. Wonderful gives a good. I know we haven't always agreed on a lot of things. He said this is why the live stream is important. No other live stream in Australia discusses firearms ownership issues. Exactly. And listen, the whole thing, I really don't care what people think about me anymore. I couldn't care less if organizations don't like me. I couldn't care if importers don't like me. I couldn't care if some of the average shooters don't like me. I just don't care anymore, because I've moved on with my life, you know what I mean? So, and I'll say and do whatever I like. That's why my Facebook page, I'll just say what I like, because hopefully, at least in me busting their balls and shaming them on the internet, it sucks that I've actually got to resort to me and Aaron and there's plenty of other people out there doing it too, but we've had to resort to shaming some of these people, to shame them into action. That's terrible that we have to do that. And I don't want to do that. And not many people do want to do that. But I just don't care anymore. I will shame whoever necessary on any platform I can to force them to change and to send that out to 60,000 people at every opportunity I get. And I feel proud of it. I feel fantastic about it. absolutely fantastic about it. You know, that I'm pushing you to change. I'm shaming you into change. If it doesn't shame you into change, I will just keep doing it every day, every week in, week out, year in, year out, until you change. And if you don't, then you'll just keep receiving the same treatment.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Ray Thomas. The government makes it hard for any Australian to enter Parliament. Exactly. Parliament was formed. It was meant to be for the common people. You got a butcher in there. You got a banker. You might have a businessman. You got someone who owns a small business. All different walks of life having their opinion, not just elite bankers and career politicians. So yeah, and it's extremely hard. Unless you're extremely rich, you ain't getting in politics.
Hey, maybe Ryan had a good point. He said chat GPT can be used like a lawyer. Maybe that's what we need, just like a robot lawyer. We could just program to get into Parliament and put the case forward. That way, it's only a one-off cost. Then we can just have them just slaving and working for us. It'd be so much better, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we should do a show where we have AI answer questions for us on guns.
Yeah. Why are our politicians so bad? That'll be a first one. Why do they keep banning guns? And like it always goes to say, you never trust people that want to arm themselves to the teeth, but then want to take your guns off you. I don't think we should trust people like that. It's not the right thing to do.
No, exactly.
You know, but like we always say, guys, we always say it. It sucks. It's what's happening. But, you know, follow all the laws as necessary until at such time we can change them. Don't do anything silly. I know you feel upset. You get, it's stressful. Yep, I get all that. But don't let it make you do the wrong thing. You know, try and follow the laws as is until at such time we can change them. It sucks, but, do the right thing. We don't want to give shooters a bad name. So follow the laws as instructed, and then we fight it down the track at a legal level, political level, whatever that may be.
Yeah. I'll just bring up that AI now. Oh, you got to sign up. No, bugger. Wanted to ask it some questions.
Why is Aaron so stupid? That'll be my first question.
Yeah.
Why did he say spank instead of what the correct word?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see the outcome, but unfortunately, we do know what this outcome is going to be because it's been pretty much stated on the internet, especially when they're talking about getting fair prices instead of even talking about representation of in court or fighting this in some form, except for writing letters.
And when we finish off, guys, let us know in the comments what you think we should do. You think we should call up our organizations and at least give them a bit of a stick and ask them what's going on? What are they going to do? Let us know in the comments at the end of the video. You can let us know in the comments in this live stream, but that'll be finishing soon. So let us know in the comments what you think the way forward is, what we should do, because at the moment it looks like all this stuff is just going to go through. What's the word I'm thinking of? Without any fight
opposition
from us. Yeah, any opposition, exactly. Without no opposition, we're just going to let this go through. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can, actually. I can. Ray Thomas says here, government ban our guns, but arm Ukraine. Exactly. Sending masses of weapons over to basically the civilians in the Ukraine fighting, and we're left here defenseless, and we want to disarm us.
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely ridiculous. And
yeah, like I said, those two things, guys, with bow hunting ban, caliber bans, and like for anyone sitting there going, well, I'm not in that state. Coming to a state near you, it is. I mean, we've been. I hate to say it. I want to be wrong for once. I really do. But a lot of the stuff we say, if you've been here for 2 or 3 years, it's me and Aaron have been doing this. Maybe 3 years, probably 3.5 years. Pretty much majority of what we said, if not anything, everything has come to pass that we've said. Everything from the elections to the gun bans to what was going to happen after, what happened the last 2 years with us being stuck at home and what these governments were going to do within 6 to 12 months of these things going away. We said they would do this sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, if that hasn't given us any credibility of what we're saying here, then I don't know what we were meant, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know,
It's just,
we may not be the most eloquent people in the world, but I think, again, I just don't care anymore. I'm over 12 years of doing this. I just don't care. I've got to use our platforms, even if it pisses people off, to try and force them to change. I don't want to. Who wants to have to do this? Nobody does. But it's our only option, the power that we have to hold these organizations accountable, just to start fighting for us, to get together, to put their egos aside. And for us to say, me and Aaron to say one time, you know what, congratulations, guys, tried our best, took it to the nth degree, took it as far as we could, we lost. Mate, no one can ask any more than that. No one can ask any more than that.
Yeah, we've always said, at least give it a go and fail. At least you can hold your head up high and say we gave it a go.
Yeah, hey, it's going to be expensive. Everyone knows it. It's going to be expensive, very expensive, especially if it needs to go to the High Court. I don't even know what the rules are around that. Again, I'm not a solicitor, but again, why we don't have that in 2023 is just absolutely bonkers to me, guys. It really is. Really is.
We'll finish up on William's question. Do we even own our guns in Australia, or are they just on lease? Do we own anything? Or no, if they can just say we're banning this, give us your guns. If you really ever own that, if they can just come and take your property because they don't think you should have it. Yeah,
but same goes for houses with compulsory acquisition through land acquisition and things like that. Do we really own anything in this country? That comes back to the libertarian view of property rights and so forth. You know, but that's a whole different discussion, probably a whole different live stream. But you know, totally agree with that as well. Totally agree.
Exactly. Anyway, we might call it quits for the night.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, guys, for coming on and watching this tonight. We really do appreciate it. We love your input and all this. It's always fantastic to catch up with you every few weeks. And thank you so much, Jason, for being a part of it as well. Really do appreciate your help. So, guys, you have a great week, and we shall see you on here very, very soon. So take care, and Lays, what you think about all this down in the comments down below. So have a good couple of weeks of shooting and enjoying your sport, and let's hope we can come back with some better news for this topic in a couple of weeks. So good night, guys, and take care.